Conquest of the Planet of the Apes is the fourth movie in the Planet of the Apes series, and it takes place just 18 years after the events of Escape from Planet of the Apes. And so it's 1991, and apes are rounded up and forced into slavery just like Zira and Cornelius said they would.
It began in our prehistory with the plague that fell upon dogs.
And cats.
And by the time the plague was contained, man was without pets. So humans took primitive apes as pets. In the course of less than 2 centuries, they progressed from performing mere tricks to performing services. Well, they became alert to the concept of slavery. On an historic day, which is commemorated by my species and fully documented in the sacred scrolls, there came Aldo. He spoke a word which had been spoken to him all time without number by humans. He said, no.
And so instead of heeding the warnings of Cornelius, these dipshits use it as an instruction manual. And the evil Governor Breck built this little business park where the rich can live and keep apes as slaves. And the apes do all the tasks that humans don't want to do, like sweeping, pouring liquid, or comically fumbling with several birthday presents. So how did we get to a point where we have ape prison camps in just a shade under 2 decades? Well, I was going to give a nice recap of the previous Planet of the Apes movie to get people caught up. But I've been told that my Midwestern accent makes me sound off-putting and vaguely Canadian, and it fills people with a sickening rage. So why don't we get some extreme exposition from the velvety voice of Mr. Ricardo Montalban.
Understand?
Now listen to me, Caesar. There can be only one talking chimpanzee on Earth. The child of the 2 talking apes, Cornelius and Zira, who came to us years ago out of the future and were brutally murdered for fear that one very distant day, apes might dominate the human race.
Nobody even knows I exist.
And we must keep it that way, for the fear remains. The mere fact of your existence will be regarded as a grave threat to mankind.
And so I just assumed that there was some kind of evolutionary leap in the last 20 years that caused apes to become more intelligent, thus creating a panic amongst the humans where they felt the need to imprison the apes so they couldn't take over. But these are actually just supposed to be regular apes that are being forced to do menial tasks.
No!
Like, imagine yelling at a gorilla because he wasn't mopping properly. That gorilla would rip your arms off and beat you to death with them. And now 2 talking apes crash landing on Earth in an American spacecraft should be the most documented event in human history. Everyone should know every detail and take steps to try to prevent the apes from ever taking over. And even though he should have had no way of knowing this, Cornelius laid out exactly how the ape uprising would come to be. And he even knew about the dog and cat plague.
They all died within a few months, 8 years ago. Every dog and cat in the world. It was like a plague. The disease that killed them was a mysterious virus brought back from outer space by one of the astronauts.
And now I can see if the dogs and cats were wiped out hundreds of years later, then Zira and Cornelius' warning could have been forgotten. But according to that tasteful monument, all the dogs and cats were wiped out just 10 years after Zira and Cornelius were gunned down. And in just the 8 years since, the humans began keeping apes as pets, and then that evolved into treating them like slaves. Like, this wasn't some complicated set of circumstances that caused the Planet of the Apes to form the first time. Like, it was just this. Like, if you just left the apes alone, then there would be no problem. Apes would never be mistreated on a global scale because 99.999% of the population would never even come into contact with an ape. Like, right now, I have to go out of my way to even see a monkey, let alone scream at one because it dropped my hat box.
You have authorization to dress him like that?
Oh, yes, sir.
The government opened an expense account for him at Gadzooks in the mall. And Caesar is played by the Planet of the Apes workhorse, Roddy McDowall. He was to Planet of the Apes what Michael Gross was, and probably still is, to Tremors. It's like the actor's dream scenario. You are guaranteed to be in every iteration of a particular franchise until the day you die. And thanks to AI, probably after you're dead. And so the days are seemingly filled with humans living in luxury while apes do all the jobs. But any kind of peace and relaxation this place might facilitate is ruined by the repeated declarations over the loudspeaker documenting every infraction committed by an ape.
Attention. This is the Watch Commander. Disperse apes gathering in the mall. Repeat. Disperse apes gathering in the mall. Their masters are to be cited and fined.
I mean, this seems like just as much a prison for the humans as it is for the apes. Nothing about this seems enjoyable. Like here, you are letting a wild animal have scissors that close to your face. Like if my cat somehow picked up a knife and was running around with it in his mouth, it'd be the most terrifying day of my life. And they even have apes working at Benihana. And during one of the twice-hourly beatings of an ape, Caesar becomes so angry that he yells at them.
lousy human bastard!
But Armando says that he was the one who yelled, and Caesar runs off. And Armando is interrogated by Governor Breck, and they believe that the ape baby that Hasline killed was not in fact Zira and Cornelius' baby, but that Armando has actually been caring for the real baby. And they won't release Armando, so Caesar sneaks into a cage full of orangutans in order to blend in and infiltrate the city.
Fret not, my brother. Soon the day of the Apes' liberation will be upon us. Don't touch me there. Will be upon us. You will rise up and strike to the heart of the human. Nope, that is my butthole. You do not need to be anywhere near there. The revolution will not be... Oh my God, would you settle down? Stop touching me!
So Caesar is then taken to a facility where the apes are broken down and trained for their various tasks. And from what I can tell, this facility is like 90% monkey waiter training for hibachi-style restaurants.
Yes, ma'am. For immediate sale, one male gorilla, age 7, fully conditioned bed maker, grade A.
Is that gorilla's only skill, is to make the bed? I would gladly just make my own bed every day, then have a gorilla living in my house that only works for 15 minutes. And then is just in my house. And Caesar is put up for auction and he's bought by Governor Breck for $1,500. And naturally, the first thing they want Caesar to do is pour drinks. And the governor gives Caesar a book and allows him to choose a name for himself. And he chooses the name Caesar. I don't know if this is a mistake or not. It's like at the end of Escape from Planet of the Apes, his name was Milo. But at the beginning of this movie, Armando's already calling him Caesar. And now he chooses the name Caesar? Like, did the movie just mess up by having Armando call him Caesar? Or is it just a coincidence that he was able to find the name Caesar in the book? I mean, I don't know. It ultimately doesn't matter. I mean, nothing matters. Like, I'm a grown man with a YouTube channel. Like, what is any of it for? You know, I just go through the motions just knowing that we'll all be dead one day.
Boss, are you okay?
And meanwhile, Armando is still being interrogated.
For example, you said the first time you heard the name Cornelius was in this office. But that's not really a bad black mark against you. You most probably heard it somewhere else before.
Yeah, he probably heard it on the news. If 2 talking apes crash a spaceship on Earth and then get gunned down by the president's science advisor, you better believe I'm going to know the names of the parties involved. Like, it's the only reason I still know who Cato Kalin is. Armando is no good under pressure and he tries to escape and he falls out the window to his death. And Caesar is beyond pissed, and so he begins recruiting the other apes to gather weapons and intel to take back to the ape mall.
The charge against them is nonsense.
It will do for my purposes. They constitute the hard core of our problem, and I'm going to crush them once and for all.
I'm just going to throw this out here once more. All of your problems are solved if you just let the apes go. Also, why are we using human-sized apes? Get a bunch of helper monkeys. Like, they can still bite and scratch you, but if you catch them, you can just chuck them against a wall. Boom. Insubordination squashed. Like, literally, their skulls aren't that thick. I could probably crush that dude's cranium with my bare hands. Probably just pop like a damn grape.
What is this? A red alert?
An ape was seen leaning against a barrel. Leaning! It makes me so f***ing angry I could just shove a capuchin monkey down a garbage disposal. So they find out that Caesar is the ape they're looking for, and the governor wants to execute him, and it's finally time for the ape revolution to begin. And honestly, this is the only inevitable outcome when you live with monkeys. Like, even if you treat them well, they will eventually slaughter you one day. Like, if you wear a different color shirt than the ape is used to, he will try to eat your heart.
If we lose this battle, that's the end of the world as we know it!
I mean, sort of hyperbole at this point. Yes, your weird business park has fallen, but unless there are uprisings all over the world, it shouldn't really affect much. And the apes capture Governor Breck, and Caesar gives an awesome and stirring speech.
And we shall build our own cities, in which there will be no place for humans except to serve our ends. And we shall found our own armies, our own religion, our own dynasty.
I mean, realistically, everything we do will just be an imitation of what we learned from humans. You know, it's almost like a child playing pretend. We'll even do that thing where we develop grocery stores and we'll say, that'll be $11 billion. Okay, here you go. Beep, boop, 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 boop. Keep the change.
We have seen the birth of the planet of the apes.
Again, this might just be the birth of this suburb of Chicago of the apes.
G.I. Joe will return after these messages.
Hey Grantham, guess what? My brother heard that the Transformers and GoBots are gonna have a crossover episode. Whoa, Xander, short for Alexander, that's awesome. Now hold on there. Don't go believing everything you hear now, kids. Hey, it's Honda Lou, the business owner that is G.I. Joe adjacent. The Transformers GoBots crossover is nothing but fake news. Are you gonna just believe everything that you hear? Why, I bet you believe that cockamamie story that some terrorists operating out of caves could pull off a coordinated attack all across America using hijacked airplanes to crash into buildings, which then eventually fall straight down? Bubba, if you believe that, then you've got bigger problems than a midget at a donkey show. Wait, what buildings are you talking about? And did you know George Bush was in on it the whole time? Wait, you mean George Bush, the current vice president? No, I'm talking about his son, George W. What? And don't even get me started on the Pentagon. We didn't. How does a plane 125 feet wide and 155 feet long fit into a hole which is only 60 feet across? That dog won't hunt. What? Our government fired a missile at the Pentagon in order to destroy damning files about top officials who were selling secrets to foreign nationals. Wait, the Pentagon was attacked? I didn't hear anything about that. That's because you're living in an echo chamber. You only hear what you want to hear. Okay. And now we know? Well, pickle my eggs. I almost forgot about Building 7. You see, that building was never hit by G.I. Joe!